Hello and welcome, Dragon Warrior Randomizer fans, to our summer tournament bracket stage matchup tonight. We have Game 2 between Vertical Sandwich and Nimanva. The first one was taken home by Vertical Sandwich in a fairly tight race for most of it, kind of a little bit of a bonkers ending. You can go back and watch it if you want. But here I am. I am Aaron to you two, and with me on comms tonight is the Stags28. Hello, sir.
Good afternoon.
And yes, so we're going to be underway in just a little bit. But first reflections, first thoughts about these stats from you?
That is an awful lot of HP to start.
It is. I think that might be a max roll. I don't know if there is a max roll, but it seems like it's a max roll.
Yeah, I think the highest I may have ever seen was, say, 34. 40 is surprising to me.
Yeah, and then, agility is okay. You don't really think about that too much at the beginning. And you have the spell of Radiance, so no dark walking necessary unless you really want to save that MP. And we are underway. Our quick checks of the chest here in the throne room have gold, herb, and the obligatory key. So I wonder if there's anything interesting they're going to be able to do with that.
Getting the herb is really nice also. Although it's not a swamp start. Close enough though.
Yeah, a little bit of space. You don't quite have to walk over the swamp, but they might anyway. They might be looking for that money. And with 6 strength, there's only a few enemies you can really do damage against. Otherwise, you're doing those 50-50s. But that starting hit points and the herb, you might be able to take down something like the ghost here that Vertical Sandwich is fighting.
And Nimanva gets the first kill with it, Drakey.
Nice. First level is only 5 experience, so you only need a couple of those. I bet he's looking for exactly that. Scorpion, probably a little too much.
So part of me really hopes that this Sharlock we're seeing is only accessible through the second continent, as close as we are to start.
That would be nice. I always have this mental image that Sharlock is placed like an asteroid falling from the sky. Like the entire map is generated and then Sharlock appears. Because it used to be in ridiculous places sometimes.
We do get our first look at level 2. The 1000 with outside.
Not what you want to see, but Vertical Sandwich comes across a metal slime. That could be massive. That's possibly 3 levels right off the bat if he gets through it.
He does have hurt, but there isn't enough strength. And oh, there's an excellent hit, and that takes out the metal slime.
Just crit.
And skipping a couple, 9, 7, 2, 8, outside repel, and hurt more. Uh-oh.
Yeah, that kill, that search going out may have created a ton of separation right here at the start. We don't know what level that hurt more is, if it's at 3 or 4, but the later that is, the worse off it is for Nim, who is otherwise trapped in kind of a bad situation with low strength and in a grass zone of all things. Also might be interesting to see if like a town had appeared just off to the side over here, but there we go. Vertical Sandwich saving up that hurt more, dishing it out to a Spectre worth a whopping 47 experience, and that's level 5. There are the stats: 2, 11, 0, and 2. Mild gains, but everything about hurt more, and I've said this before, I'll say it again, hurt more your next target is getting level 10, level 11. You need to find something to gain those experience, because even though you can kill most things, you're also going to still get killed by most things.
And a quick trip to level 6 also. 2, 11, 11, 3, and return.
Had a lot of 11s in the last 2 levels. Fortunately, Vertical Sandwich not going to be able to do much against a Wraith Knight, but hey, it's an MP refill, and that's just as well. Now you have 4 Hurt Mores to cast instead of just 2. Excellent point called out by Zarnax in chat. He's still at 19 strength and can still take down a Metal. Metals only run in the flag set that we have currently, and this is the same as vanilla. They run when you have double their strength. They have 10 strength. So at 19 strength, they still aren't runnable. But here we go. Nim getting level 3 and getting good news. And speaking of that, there goes Vertical off on another Metal Slime.
And Nim does get to 3. This Metal Slime, not quite a full... would not be a full max out on XP.
Now, unfortunately, it is still lethal. Metal Slimes with that hurt, and that's more of a vanilla sort of aspect, but that's, even you got 53 hit points, but you have no healing, so it's not a guarantee you will eventually kill them anyway. Still rolling at 50% to do any damage.
Our friends, the Golems, have hurt more. That could come into play later.
Yeah, it's kind of cheating. You can't hurt more the Golem, but he can hurt more you. That's not fair. Ooh, Goldman, but he does not use hurt more on the Goldman. That's bad luck.
So, looks like Vertical Sandwich is down in that area where he saw the Metal Slime before.
And I think what we're seeing here is that this exploration is terrible because Vertical Sandwich has found nearly nothing, and the swamp is eating up all of his hit points. So I think what we're going to see eventually out of both players is some resolution to just fall down on a grind here, because there's nothing doing as far as we can tell.
And Nim elects the Death Warp back to refill MP.
And we'll see. Vertical Sandwich has seen enough of enemies to know what a good zone looks like. Nim looks like he might be trying to find something in Zone 2, the secondary area of the starting levels. He might be just trying to get to 5, try to squeeze out that little bit of experience. He is swinging, though, with 15 strength. Magician is still a little bit annoying to deal with. And now Vertical Sandwich fighting an enemy he does not want to see, which is a wizard. Not much he's going to be able to do about that thing right yet. Yeah, because it hits and it does not allow the spells to hit it again. It's one of those cheating enemies from the vanilla game.
Yeah, there's a lot of swipes to take out the Magidrake, but does. Still needs 17 for that next level.
And him being somewhat shy about using those hurt mores. I think from what we've seen, though, I know Drakemount is a great enemy. I think that's exactly what he'd be looking for there. But it looks like this zone breaks apart not too far east, because I think that's where Vertical ran into it. So he stays on this west side. He's going to stay in Zone 2. It is true, you can land Hurtmore on the 15-16 resist monsters. Attempting to it is just foolhardy, though. No one in the right mind would do that.
I did try a hurt more on a red dragon this morning, so sometimes it does happen.
I think I'm maybe 1 for 1 in my life. Oh, and Vertical Sandwich crits another metal slime, picking up level 8 along the way.
Big power gain on that one.
And now we're seeing a bit of separation. Nim has not had the information about some of these zones to the right and hasn't had the multiple metal slime kills that Vertical has. So he's still kind of dealing in maybe a suboptimal zone. I don't know. It's a little hard to say because by the time you take all those hit points going across the swamp to try to hunt down the green dragon or whatever that other thing was that we fought, the specters, you're taking a pretty significant hit, and you're just hoping that you don't get ambushed, which with 32 agility is still kind of likely.
Nick gets to level 6. 2, 11, 11, 3. Yep.
And this zone with its metal slimes, Vertical Sandwich going after them again. They will run now. I believe it is a 25% clip every time they take an action, plus an initial 25% before the battle starts. He's also at the level where they will give the full 255 experience. Those are an enemy that is still locked into what used to be the cap, and there we go. It ran away.
But not before several hurts.
And speaking of good enemies to fight, Nim found a wyvern, which is about ideal. Runs from the poltergeist, though. Anything you can get in that 50 to 60 experience range right now, you're going to feel really good about.
You know, I would love to take a chance at a green dragon or an axe knight right about now. Just enough to get that next level.
Yeah, you wouldn't be sad to see one of them, unless, of course, it ambushes you. That's still kind of the question, although, really, in 40 agility, you're feeling pretty good about that. I'd say it's less than 25% chance to see that. Of course, you start talking about odds when it comes to agility to people, and their brains explode. So, chat asking about where the green dragon was. I think it was in the forest or the hills over here. It was before the next set of swamp because he wasn't that beat up by the time he got to it. Personally, I'd be all about the specters because even if you get ambushed, they're unlikely to do much. And nope, we see the golems have sleep and hurt more. I think that might have actually popped out already and I missed it, but yeah, maybe if you get stop spell later, they might be worth fighting. Golems have a lower stop spell ceiling than some other monsters, but at the same time, probably would just use the flute. And now Nim comes across a metal slime with this 19 strength.
This would be a big coup, and there it is.
And I think level 7 gained no strength, so... Oh, never mind. I guess he must have went from straight to 8, so there we go. Or excuse me, when I said 8, I meant Vertical Sandwich from before, but he actually just crit the second metal slime, so that was my confusion. Sorry about that.
Well, hopefully Nim's able to break out east. I think that's where It's going to see a little bit more of the expansion of the map.
There is quite an experience difference right now, but with Hurtmore, it's very easy to make that up. The problem will be it's less about the experience value and it's more about the level number, because if 9 has a lot, then that difference is massive. If 9 is nothing, then the difference won't even mean much at that point. And Vertical taking another bad ambush there from the Wraith Knight. Those things are being a bit vicious. And there is the Green Dragon. So the Green Dragon was the same zone as the Spectre. Let's see if he's able to get through it. And, oh, did not kill him on the attack back. Thank you very much to that 51 agility.
And that is enough to bump up to level 8. Is going to love this power boost.
And yeah, he's walking right into the swamp. He's not going to give the enemy the satisfaction of ending his life. He'll do it himself. Maybe I could have phrased that better so it didn't sound so dark. We'll see if he goes right back to that same area or if he does something closer to what Vertical is doing. I would shoot Metal Slime, possibly Green Dragon, possibly Spectre, Druins, which are, you know, whatever. It's not terrible. But hey, Vertical makes it through the swamp and finds a town and a cave. What do we got?
I didn't think he even tried.
Yeah, I didn't see.
I think he just bounced out.
Yeah, I didn't see the character move at all, so who knows. And then the Green Dragon swings high, unfortunately for him. But he knows where he has to go now if he wants to find anything. We'll just see if he continues doing that or if he thinks about a little bit more of a grind. We see Nim has been chilling in these mountains and is almost caught up. Yeah, chat's asking about which one it could be. I always forget about the facings and what that means. I remember Grave, I think, is the one that faces slightly different. That's like the only one that I remember.
I believe Nim just took the experience lead with that last Green Dragon. Just wants one more Spectre and then we have level 9.
Yeah, there we go. Great enemy to see right there. Just enough experience to get to level 9. We'll see if we get anything good out of this.
Zero 555 and sleep.
That sounds like I'd be grinding another level out here, I think. But he might be getting antsy. We'll see if he goes anywhere. Alright, Vertical now running into that Green Dragon that we've seen before is able to take that one out. That will give him a level. Unfortunately, for Nim, the Hurtmore missed. So we're basically back to even now, although slight edge to Vertical with the exploration luck. Or excuse me, with the exploration progress. Maybe not luck.
Yeah, that's one that stinks. When you land the Hurtmore, and it's not quite enough to one hit, and then you follow back up with another just to try to finish it off, and that one misses.
Yeah, and I mean, we're talking, if you look at just the stats, 65 hit points, 60 agility, you might think, well, that's not terrible. you can do some exploration with that until you start seeing some reds start smacking you around, or see some ambushing DL2 enemies. But the problem we have is just there's too much damage along the way. There's multiple required swamps to progress in what is otherwise a linear direction right now. So if you take any hits from anything, you basically aren't getting there.
And the only real grinds thus far are specters and green dragons, with the occasional metal slime thrown in, and that gets tiring.
All right. Well, we do see Vertical Sandwich is currently out in that desert. We'll see if he makes it to town as we wait, as he's not moving. In another cave north of what is Remolder. That could be big. We've been able to maintain some of the money with these enemies been fighting, so get a couple keys and maybe something Antantagel will save you. Although really, I think, I don't know, sword would be nice, armor would help, but the odds that either one of those are in the treasury are probably not as high as you would like.
Yeah, they're a little bit higher when you don't check, apparently.
Is that a watched pot never boils sort of strategy?
Absolutely. And instead it's a torch, so...
We get our first shop check here in Rimeldar, and we have Flame Sword, Silver Shield, Large Shield, Copper Sword, and oh, he did not buy the bamboo pole. Ooh.
But if we do find out that we have a grind, that will work very well for two big pieces of equipment.
Went out, fought one enemy just to get enough money to use the inn. That's always a thought when it comes to Remolder too, is that you can spend as much money for keys, but the inn costs just slightly more than a key. So you kind of have that decision. Do you abandon your progress to buy all the keys or not? Oof, Goldman, so close to town. Large Shield, I don't know, man.
Yeah, maybe pass on the first one, but if you come back and see a couple more, yeah, I probably would go through.
And I'm gonna put this in the category of interesting. Casting outside, not checking the spike tile and swamp, which with that town right nearby could be a renewable source of experience. And meanwhile, Nim does hit level 10, picks up the 1165, so another small handful of experience. We're not getting the escape through the levels, unfortunately.
Yeah, and with that early hurt more, checking the spike tile is very tempting.
Anyway, Vertical has made it through and has seen second swamp. He's found a little bit of a dead end so far, but Rogue Scorpion, a great enemy to use Hurt More against, although it is a little bit prone to ambushes more than some other things. Magiwyvern, the best possible enemy you could find with Hurt More.
Yeah, that is guaranteed to land and guaranteed to one-shot.
Yep, as long as he doesn't get you first, you get him. That's the best math, I think.
The golden rule. Do unto them before they do unto you.
Sounds right to me. Meanwhile, Vertical Sandwich did find another cave in a swamp off in the distance, but Mr. Blue Dragon said no. And now we're going to get our treasury check. Smart to equip that scale. We find the Silver Harp. Always good to find that early. Cursed Belt is knowledge for later, and Erdrick's Token. So a couple of important finds there in the treasury, but nothing that's going to change the fate of the game very much.
I did not see any gold there either, so we'll have to see what's in the basement.
Right, there could still be a gold grind if this basement has a chest. It is a dark cave, and now that it is lit up, we will see mountain. And Werewolf is a pretty good enemy to see down here too. It's not as easy to one-shot Hurtmore as some other things, but between heal and hurt, it's a pretty safe fight. It has no Hurtmore resistance, so all it can do is try to get you before you get it, which, again, no healing might be more likely than you would think. So he's getting that level 10. There was a call in chat for all of the key items to be in here. That would be interesting. Not seeing that so far. There is a key. Again, there will be a gold grind active. The treasure glitch will be active pretty soon. So I think he has to check one more, and then it's going to be on. And a wizard. Okay, good. Got away. That was not what you wanted to see down here. Finds the Droll Mag, which happens to be wings, if my math serves me. This will be a bamboo pole. And this one must be a key item of some sort. That is... All right, there we go. All 3 key items inside and underneath Tantagel. I missed what those wings were. Was that a torch? Chat confirming torch. Meanwhile, while we're going through this, just a brief break to check on what Nim is doing, and he has cleared out another Wraith Knight, is almost dead and has almost escaped this, and Vertical Sandwich finding that gold grind. Nice. And with enough MP to cast outside.
Alright, so Nim does have the town on the screen. And knows that it's Swamp South.
It's away from the ghost, sees another ghost. You're getting real anxious and annoyed right now seeing that, and finds Remolder. He has plenty of money, should be able to get max keys and possibly even buy an item if he so chooses. Oh, very good point by Schmeik. He's going to have to double up to do this because there's no healing yet. I don't think we've even seen any herbs in this area. So what did we see? We've seen a silver shield and a flame sword, I believe, in Rim. So that, if you double that up, that is around 48,000 gold. I think it's actually just short of 50,000. So we'll see if that happens. If that's what he's doing, then we're going to be watching him do this for another minute or so.
Surprised not doing an outside.
Well, it's what chat mentioned. There's no way he gets to Remolder without dying. He has no healing, and he does not have enough hit points to get there. So he is... Nope. I think he's just going to go for Silver Shield.
Well, can't he just... Oh, that's right. That's right, he can't heal. Haha, he can fill up... He can fill up magic, but not hell.
He is still going to save, which is interesting, because I think he would save after you died in this scenario. Anyway, Nim does pick up a copper sword, which will help out for a little bit. We'll see. He's skipping swamp. Oh, there's another town. Wow. And with coal, the coal find we'll see here, is it a flute? It is Erdrick's armor. So all that exploration luck that was really in Vertical Sandwich's favor before, it's starting to swing back a bit. As you imagine that Nimanva is going to find most of what Vertical has found while Vertical is dealing with this gold grind. Oh, Nim also picked up a large shield. Thank you very much, Venicus. And there it is, 7 hit points short of what he needed to get through all of that swamp. And I don't think he planned on this. These pauses, that save, makes me think that maybe that wasn't in his head. But he still has enough money for the silver shield, so...
He goes ahead and resaves. There you go.
The silver is the big thing that you want out of here. You can get through most of the game with the substandard to no weapon with Hurt More, but you really need that. If you're going to do any sort of gold grind, it really has to be kind of centered around the silver shield at this point, I think. And Nim also warping directly out, not checking the spike, and we'll see if he's able to find anything. Sees the cave off in the distance, but also sees a golem. This must be kind of a spicy zone, because that's where that blue dragon was last time. And a wizard, but he does have 61 agility, so running from these enemies is not quite difficult. And what do we got here?
We have the grave.
Indeed. With 3 chests right on the top, this will be quick check of these things. He might decide to go dive to set up a gold grind. It is possible. He's seen the silver shield. He's seen the flame sword. He already has Erdrick's armor, though, and so he might decide to try to do it out of mountain, which we know is underneath. So,
and there picks up heal more with 11.
Yes, there we go. Healing has arrived in the form of the most expensive spell in the game, which will heal a lot of hit points. I forget the range.
Not taking damage in the swamp to go with the heal walk is going to be a huge boon also.
True. And we see in these chests, fairy water, herb, and gold, so not bad. We'll see if he focuses on it. Looks like he's diving. That first step you take to the right usually indicates that. He does have keys. He might be able to full clear this one, although he's a little bit short on resources. But with the armor and that agility, you have to feel fairly good about it.
Yeah, and even if he ends up dying along the way, it will be able to set up the gold grind that's at the very bottom of mountain.
True. Now Vertical buys the silver, finds coal, gonna get that armor, gonna have just absolutely bonkers defense right here for the rest of the game, basically. Especially with that agility already. I think he is very close. No, I think, yeah, he's already repelling wizards at level 10. And then also sees he didn't really miss out on much for the products that we had in town. So did not get the big sword, the flame sword there, which he would have liked, but still has hurt more, has some MP, not a ton, and has got the 2 best defensive items in the game.
And he's going to do the long walk around to get all of the herbs he can handle.
Yep, he does not know about the healing that comes in a little over 400 experience, but at the same time, this makes some sense. If you're in his situation, you gotta start feeling that you're taking some bad deaths, and you really need to buff it against that as best as you can.
And, I mean, in all fairness, he might need the herbs to even be able to get those 400 XP.
Alright, and I think we saw that on Nim's screen, and I didn't notice it before, but that was the Jerk Cave, so we'll have to go back there at some point. Unfortunately, Vertical just hasn't quite found the Heart Trade in yet, so he isn't quite ready for the Rainbow Drop, but very close.
And Nim finds the Death Necklace in Grave 5, so that, pay attention to that. With as much HP as they have, that could end up coming into play later also.
Absolutely. Now, Nim's starting to walk out. He has outside. This has to be a play to just get taken out by something. But Rogue Scorpion is... Yeah, and it's not enough either. He's got to find something strong to hit him. It might have to go all the way back down to those green dragons. Speaking of green dragons, that's what we have on the swamp tile. Readily killable. We'll probably see Vertical get that level as long as he doesn't get too many Hurtmore's blocked, which is exactly what happened right
there. Oh, Graho does not get through.
It does the swing. That is probably the first opportunity that we saw where that the lack of Flame Sword bit just a bit. Now Nim is swinging down on this green dragon, which is a call for death, just hoping that this thing takes him out so he can possibly do something in Tangential. He doesn't know that there is a gold grind and that it is actually the 5th chest in Mountain.
But then we'll not run into the same problem because having the armor.
True, has that advantage, also has the advantage of heal more. So at this point, anything he doesn't have to physically take out, he's in good shape on. Anything he has to physically wear down, he's still got 60 AP, and that's not going to do much. And here's the most annoying part of this glitch, having to check after every chest to see what in the world did I actually find. So he sees Harp, he sees Token, Dragon Scale, and is loading up. I think this one was Fairy Water? No, that was a Cursed Belt. You don't want that.
Okay, so this brings up an interesting question for Vertical. Does he go to the bottom of the grave? It looks like maybe yes.
It's kind of paused on that. Nope, he's going deep. We know that this has something interesting. It's not required, and I don't know, if he had the Flame Sword, when you see Flame Sword and you get the Death Necklace, this is the first moment where you think, maybe I don't need Erdrick's Sword. I don't think I've ever seen anyone win without the Death Necklace or Erdrick's Sword, but I've seen them win without one of them. The one thing we did see from Mountain is that it was a pretty decent experience. The grave, no. Sleepy Golem, ambush, and does not get away. No, stop. And there we go. It's the last thing you want to see is somebody getting killed, walking steps away from a treasure. Does not heal though, still does not have the healing spells. It does have herbs, but just using let the armor do the job for him.
God, when you're in the middle of the gold grind and you have full inventory, or gold glitch, that gets tough because you don't actually know what you're considering picking up or dropping.
Yeah, that's when you have the glitch active, you pretty much have to pick up everything. Unless you just know that it can't possibly be something useful. But if that's the case, then why are you bothering to check it anyway? Now, I guess I take that back. It could be armor. That's the one time where you would check something and just always drop it if that was the only thing you were looking for. So, Vertical does teleport out of grave, does not bother going back and dying again, which is probably good. I don't know. You could wager a second gold grind for the sword in that scenario, but not when you'd have to dive all the way to the mountain. But instead finds Cantlin just to the southeast of grave.
So then this brings up a question. What are the odds that the coordinates are a thing in this one?
Well, it's normally 80% off the bat. And of that 80%, 40% of that is sword and 40% of that is flute. So you might check the other things first. But there we go. 85 south, 26 east. That is not on the main continent. That is on Swamp Continent. It's probably right near where he is. So we did see that green dragon. That's going to be a fairly routine fight. Once Vertical hits 11, that's the thing that's been eluding him. He's so close to heals and just hasn't been able to fight things to get it.
I don't know if Nim saw the flame sword or not, or is just going and assuming that it exists.
Nim did visit that shop, so I think that's what he's going to go for, about the 25, and we'll see him get both of them, and should have a reasonably safe time of it with that Erdrick's armor. Meanwhile, Vertical finding the heart trade-in and getting that knowledge. He's just the raindrop away from being able to go into Sharlock.
And knows where the jerk is, also.
But of course, there's no rush because, he's probably theoretically going to die at some point and have to go back anyway. The second continent seems to be the main continent, though. He's been wandering quite a bit. And is this Hawks? No, this is Granham. I kind of forgot about that one.
So that means either the freebie or the tablet?
Right, we've seen everything else. So one or the other.
Of course, if the sword shows up here, you don't even take a look in the bottom.
Right, that's the last thing that you need. The flute can be useful, depending on who you ask, but there's like a 1 in 7 chance that that's what the spike is, and putting any extra effort towards it when you don't know that you need it seems a bit rough.
And I suppose if that were the fairy or the fighter's ring, you might want it also.
True. I don't know. I'm trying to think, and I'm not saying this in a negative way, but I'm trying to think if there's ever been a time where I've put extra effort in going for the fighter's ring, aside from knowing it was in the Sharlock treasury. And yes, Tilo, I believe those are the two things we're missing. I also don't think we've seen the path to Sharlock yet. Although I have a feeling it's west of where Vertical is. We know where it is. We just haven't seen the path to it, because I don't think you could get to it on the first continent. Unless, of course, I just messed up the mapping. There we go. Nim picking up level 12 before he can make it to Cole for his stuff. 10 power, 4 agility, 4 hit points, 3 magic points. Another decent level. Strength is starting to tick up, but nothing is really where you want it to be for Sharlock readiness yet.
Yeah, with this level of MP, you also want to find heal, ideally. Heal more will continue to work, but it's just very resource intensive.
Alright, picking up that flame sword, when he got Vertical did not. It could matter if the Hawksmith spike is something that is not hurt-moreable. If we see a red dragon or a golem there. And now we see Vertical to the west of Tantagel. We've went all the way around here, so maybe this is the path that's actually to Sharlock. I think I had my map backwards.
So this is full circle?
It's a fun map. It's I guess Swamp must have opened pretty close to the southwest corner after all, and then it just kind of wraps around the main continent.
So I wonder if Nim is going to go to the spike tile here and go for the princess.
I think if I'm in his situation... Sorry, I was going to say, I think I would in this situation, but I'm pretty strong on the preemptive princess dives. The only problem is you have to turn it in before you get to Cantland for it to be worthwhile.
And Nim does have the stones, so really the only thing outstanding is the sword. I don't know.
I think I like what Vertical's doing and just pressing the gas on the exploration. Wants to find Hawk's Nest. Does not want to count these... Well, no, it looks like he's giving up and is probably going for a princess grab right now. Pick up that drop and just, hope for coordinates because the exploration for Hawk's Nest isn't working out. I'm pretty sure Hawk's Nest is just south, though. I'm guessing right now. It's southeast of Tantagel, close to where those coordinates are.
Being able to actually get to Tantagel on the other side, this then becomes countable.
True, that might have been something to think about, although I think you have to... It's 85 south, so you're basically walking 85 steps north of it to pick up that count. I don't know if that wagers as being quicker in your mind than just grabbing the princess or not. And seems to be wondering about this axe time. I think something must have come up to drag him away from the game right now. But look at those stats at level 13 Nim got. Now he's almost there. Strength and MP are just a little bit low, but everything else is looking good. So it does appear that Nim has decided to outside out. I think he's going to try to look for a town. He's got 2 MP, though, unless he's got wings, which if he did, I think he'd be using it right off the bat. He's just walking around looking for a town with a princess at this point. I actually thought he did have wings. Huh.
I think he does.
Well, who needs them when you can just walk to Cantland, I guess. Gets there, has the armor, so doesn't even need to heal up to get his resources back. I'll walk right down here, get the cords, probably heal up, and I imagine might just immediately warp back to turn her in, knowing that it's almost certain he's going to have to get it. Of course, like the ideal routing scenario here probably would have been doing this, finding the harp cave, which is not super far away, getting the harp, then doing this all so he can get everything in one go and might not ever have to go back to the main continent. But who God routes anything. And there we go. He's warping, or no, he's using Repel. Nim is going to continue exploring Vertical Sandwich now. He has went back, rescuing his hero, Guimon. And we'll get that information. Probably not be in any rush to try to find the coordinates because we know that they're kind of off in the distance. But just having that lets you know when you're around the area, and so you don't have to miss on the exploration and have to go back to somewhere you've already been.
And here's that exquisite routing you're talking about. Does stick around, gets the staff. Is going to find Garenham right here.
And he might be thinking the same thing we mentioned before. that he might not want to do the coordinates and try to find Hawksness first, or find, well, we're saying Hawksness. We're not sure 100% the sword is in Hawksness. It could be in, what was it, Tablet Cave, and it could also be in Sharlock. I think we've only seen one cursed belt so far. Like, if you found the flute, it would be good information, honestly. Even if you don't pick it up, even if you just find it and throw it to the ground, then you know that the coordinates are active because something is there. You just don't want to waste a whole lot of time going after it if it's just a flute. It would be the Flute of Intense Sadness. You get it, and you just play it immediately, hearing its tone and just being really sad about it.
I mean, a flute that plays sad trombones, that seems tough.
So seeing those coordinates, he's got to go about, 50 tiles to the east and about 20 more to the south from where he is. So he might end up getting this before too long. Just knowing where Tantagel is in relation to stuff is pretty fun. Alright, Nim swinging on a red dragon. This is our first red dragon fight, I believe, of the seed. We'll see if it has anything funny, anything we're going to have to worry about later.
Yeah, that 87 defense is holding up pretty well here.
And it has heal, but he does not have stop spell, so he's going to have to outswing it or keep swinging and hope he doesn't use it. This probably, you're going to need a lot more strength for this to be something you'd be willing to do in a Sharlock scenario, I think. Although when he is using heal, he's not damaging you, so you're not losing, progress. You're just losing time. Alright, then AK-47s with stop spell and hurt, and then you would run on those every time because you're not going to get penalized for failing, really.
And you talk about unfair. The Red Dragon never runs out of magic either.
Yep, still casting heal. Nim is rolling on that 75% odds likely every single time. We're going to see this coordinate find here really, really quick, though. He's got about 4 steps to go. And there it is, Erdrick's sword on the coordinates. So no longer missing that flame sword. He's got the big swing. We'll see in a level, he'll be very close to Ghost Hats again at level 13. Just needing probably a little bit of strength and a little bit of MP. And knows that he doesn't need Hawksness. All he needs is grind. So we're going to see Vertical probably go to that green dragon and sit there for a while. Really putting pressure on Nim, who after that initial surge in exploration and everything is now fallen behind, in my eyes at least, just by virtue of not having the things he needs.
Nim does have a 1500 XP lead and is carrying the princess currently.
Yeah, was wandering around without Repel for a while. I think he thought better of it. Probably was trying to get him some experience while it was going, but I think what we know about this exploration is that whatever he finds isn't going to be useful.
Unless Hawksness is an Axe Knight. Something to be able to just pound away at.
I think in this situation that one is wouldn't even matter to me. Wherever it is so far away from everything else. And he's casting Return. He's given up the Ghost, which is probably the best thing he could do in this scenario. Turn in that princess, count your chords, and hope that Vertical Sandwich hasn't gained much of an experience lead or any experience lead by the time you do.
So Nim will be able to get the rainbow drop and then get the sword, and then we'll be able to go straight to grind or Sharlock. So it's not that far out of the way.
Right. It won't take him too terribly long. He's doing the exact same thing that Vertical did here, where just casting Repel and kind of walking. He still has 5, so he can throw out 1 hurt more, but we did see an Axe Knight, we know green dragons. There are some fightable enemies around here. And with that hurt more on that 87 DP, he is getting rid of anything short of green dragons right now. Here we go, stopping in at Rim, going to do pretty much exactly what we expect him to do at this point. Heal up, charge out at the coordinates. Meanwhile, when we started, I think we had a 1,400 experience difference. Vertical Sandwich is already caught up to make it just 1,000, so we'll see if that experience gap completely disappears in this time, or if he's able to do anything to keep it going.
So my guess is that Nim will actually join the green dragon grind and then pick up the sword on the way to Sharlock.
That could be the strategy here, because we know Sharlock is a ways into the second continent, and if he does it in that order, that'll keep him from having to come back to the Swamp Cave. I don't know. The problem would be, though, he's still going to be really low on resources coming here, and we do see the 13 on Vertical side. He's going to probably look at those stats for just a moment, or whenever he does realize he's still short on MP, but everything else is kind of coming together.
And Nim employing the just crit strats.
And the blue dragon has heal, and suddenly he's a little bit annoyed, throwing out the hurt more. The 7 out of 16 does not land. Another one, 7 out of 16, and that one goes through. So there we go, blue dragon down.
For 180!
It does look like he is on that grind strat, so we'll see him. I don't know. Is he going to continue doing this till it's go time, or is he going to do this until he's out of resources and then just walk to Cantlin?
Might just try to get to level 14 and then be close enough to try to grind in Sharlock.
Right. If he feels like the level is imminent, like even a first floor Sharlock, if there's a town nearby, isn't terrible. I don't recall what the closest town was, though. That one might be the problem. There you go, level 14, 3, 5, 4, 3, and stop spell. That is not enough. The sword will have 120 attack power with 8 heal mores. That range is impossible, basically, without some hurt more help. Even Fairy Waters couldn't save that sort of dive. There he is, getting out, walking to this cave? What's in this cave? Oh no, he's going west. I think he's still pursuing... Oh no, he's going the wrong direction. That's what it is.
And then realizes has to go the other way, right? Or might be just looking for Hawk's Nest while here.
I think if you were going to go to Hawk's Nest, you would not have done that grind, though, because you would want to preserve your resources for whatever might be there. Well, he finds the end of the world, so he's either going to be going back the other direction very quickly, or something, in quotation marks.
As it turns out, 80 agility is enough to get away from a red dragon right now, on that one specific instance.
You're only a minor underdog to run at that level, so you don't feel too bad about it. You aren't too surprised, but still grateful. And he's going to drop in on Cantling, get the refill. We'll see if he buys anything else. He does have the rainbow drop, so his inventory has been cleared of a couple of unnecessary items. Usually, if you're thinking about buying fairy waters, you don't do that till after that point. But we did see that Cantlin is on the way, more or less, to Charlock, so I don't know if it's worth that effort just yet, until you know you're going to need it. And to answer a question for chat, the entire tournament is best of 3. So every single round is nothing more than that. I think there was some request for a best of 15 for the finals, but that was rejected. Well, I think the issue with the best of 5 is by the time you get there, there is a possibility that you could have done. Let's do the math here. 8 if you did a tiebreaker race like Guelph, then 3 in the round of 24, 3 in the round of 16, 3 in the round of 8, 3 in the round of 4, 3 in the round of 2. I wasn't doing the math, so somebody go ahead and do that for me. 23 races?
Yeah, it's definitely a lot. Yeah, best of 17 might be okay if you have a doubling cube that you could use in the first 30 minutes.
Yes, pointed out by chat, Vertical Sandwich has taken the lead on experience now. So, technically in the lead, as much as that could be stated, and looks like Nim is just a couple of steps away from the sword. Picks it up, has the big swing, and now is in full go mode. And I don't think he's realized it yet. Now he's like, wait, I got the drop, I got everything, what am I doing? And we'll see if he runs back to that cave or what decision he makes at this point. Might try. Maybe he hasn't found the path to Charlock yet. He's going the wrong direction for it, though. The coordinates are actually a very good indicator of where you have to go to get to Charlock. It might not be obvious, but that Charlock is like 8 steps north of Tantagel, so you could use the coordinates to find Charlock if you wanted to. But at this point, this exploration, I have no idea what he's doing in particular. But if he fights red dragons along the way, the experience gap won't be too terrible.
Oh, and lands the stop spell, too.
Hey, no worries, Beef Supreme. We had, oh, look, there's Hawksness. So he found Hawksness. I don't know what for. He must think he's missing something, or he wants to find a better grind than the Green Dragon. I know some people really don't like Green Dragon fights. Oh, never mind. Yeah, it's just Black Canary, so I don't know. Maybe he'll buy some fairy waters. Maybe he'll just leave. No, he's going back. He's going to hit that grind, I think, in the cave. But this is going to be a bit of a hole he's going to have to get out of. The experienced lead has switched hands, and there's ways that he could catch up very quickly, but we haven't seen anything that rivals the Green Dragon as far as usefulness in a grind zone. So it's either going to take a long level or something. Or maybe he just hasn't found the way to Charlock.
Yeah, I don't think Nim has.
And to my best guess, and I may be wrong because I don't exactly remember the map, but it was either immediately to the north of Swamp Cave, or you had to circle all the way around the actual main continent to get to it. I don't remember exactly how the map looked. But there we see level 15, 5, 0, 3, and 7. So still not there. Got a little bit more of the grind to go.
Yeah, this one looks like it could even be a level 17 seed.
Well, as we all know, Dragon Warrior randomizers sometimes can end this way, where we end up with just a bit of a grind to go. And then whatever's in Sherlock, which can scare a little bit. So we'll see how this ends, but I don't know. I've joked before that if I were to make like some people have talked about like changing the text in the NPCs to add random things. My random thing would be that every NPC just says, "Why aren't you grinding?"
I'm glad the push to talk was on, because otherwise everyone would have heard me laughing.
So what do we see? 600-point difference. It was commented on chat that swinging is faster than Hurtmore here. It's interesting. You can kind of keep measuring that. It definitely makes the grind longer. We're going to see Nim's going to have to bolt out of this really quickly because he's almost out of resources already. Whereas Vertical's been holding on to him. Getting the Green Dragon down in 2 or 3 hits. So fight to fight, it's probably going slightly faster for Nim. But he does miss the Hurtmores every once in a while, and he is going to have to leave very soon.
Yeah, because the Green Dragons are defense broken, you're able to withstand them a lot more.
True, that's the point where, and this is what I love about Green Dragon grind. Some people kind of don't like them so much, but they make you think, and there's actually reasons, going through in the game to switch one strategy to the other quite often. You don't really see that on other enemies. There has to be some major reason, like Golem or Stonemen, you just swing and heal more when you have a decent amount of MP. And if you don't, you sleep them one way or another. And there's no other enemy that has, I think, the variety of decisions involved that the Green Dragon has. Yeah, I forget the exact damage range, but I think the odds of one-shotting a Green Dragon are, on any particular Hurtmore caster, in the high 30% if you factor in the fact that it can miss. I might be wrong. I'm sure somebody in chat is better of an expert at that than I am.
I didn't see Beta's name on the list, so we'll see.
Alright, since you said it in chat, I gotta do it. Ho ho ho, Green Dragon! Credits to EMP who gave me that idea. Well, that difference was 600. It is now 1,100, give or take 1 Green Dragon fight. 2 more to go for Vertical Sandwich, and we will see if level 16 gives the goods to go. Yeah, at the rate Vertical Sandwich is going, he could fight another 10 of these and probably still have enough heal wars. But here we go, level 16. What do we got, Stags?
3, 6, 2, 13.
That is now much closer. 120 attack power versus 10 heal mores. Hit points where you could maybe get a double or 2. I'm thinking no, and I think Vertical's thinking the same thing.
With that defense, you probably could get away with the Death Necklace also.
Are you sure about that?
No, not at all. But I was thinking 128 for the for HP. No. Okay. I was mixing up AP and HP.
I can see that. That makes sense. That makes perfect sense now. And although I don't know, never mind. I'm not going to criticize you.
No, 128 would definitely be cutting it close. But at this point, I think both runners probably feel behind.
I always wonder about that. I feel like there's two things that make me feel behind in a race. One is bad deaths that I shouldn't have taken, and two is when something was just off of the screen that I missed. I don't know. Vertical Sandwich had kind of a struggle start after he had a great start and then struggled in the mid game and has really excelled towards the end. Whereas Nim is pretty much the exact opposite. It took him a lot longer to get out of low level jail. Was able to really cruise in the mid game. Got everything that Vertical had before and got all of the best gear. And then really it was the sword there at the end. The decision making right towards the end is what caused the difference. So again, checking at the difference in our experience here, 900 experience point difference. Nim is staring a hole down these stats, but he is out of resources, so he's going to have to go back or heal up somewhere. I don't know. This as a go level does not look viable to me. But he is going in the direction of Sharlock, so maybe he is going with this.
He might also be thinking maybe there's a town next to Sharlock. Maybe the grind in Sharlock is better.
I would, I don't know. Sharlock grinds tend to not be great and maybe a last resort. What I would have made me think that Nim would be going for sure is if he stopped in and grabbed Fairy Water before he cast that Repel. Because in this scenario, he would actually want to use the Fairy Water in battle. But I don't know. This is like a 4 heal more gap. I don't think that you can make up maybe 1 of those heal mores with Fairy Water, but it's just too much right now. I think he's looking... I don't know if it's Sharlock or Hawksnest, what he's looking for. Maybe he's forgot where Sharlock is in relation to everything. Again, and I don't think anyone would think about this, like, actually consciously while they were doing the race. It's something that would easily slip my mind, at least. But the coordinates basically tell you where Sharlock is, if you remember where Sharlock was in relation to Tantagel. So the biggest thing would be that you'd want to be north, and you would not want to be east. We know that he's going further east, and Cantlin itself was nearly 0, so Tantagel and Sharlock were basically directly north. Meanwhile, Vertical Sandwich leaving out the north entrance. I don't know if that's just because he's going to try to get level 17 along the way. He is just a little bit of experience short on that regard. And hey, Nim is doing that right now. He is checking the Gwaelin's love, trying to figure out where he is, but he is, I think, way too far south at the moment. We'll see if he can get up there.
Yeah, I needed to go 45 or 50 or so more north, and had to go west to do it.
So at this point, Nim is probably looking... I don't know if this is go or he needs to find Sharlock and he's unwilling to do anything else. We'll see, because I think he's going to see what he needs to see just right here. He should remember that terrain, and he's almost to Sharlock right now. Oh, the question in chat: what is Nim's sprite? Nim has the goof off from Dragon Warrior 3, the female goof off to be specific. And if it is not, if it needs to be said, Vertical Sandwich has Gwaylin from this particular game, and he is also using, in his case, Gwimon's Love to try to figure out where Sharlock is. I love this. I don't know that I would have thought about this in the race, but no, it looks like Nim is going in. I don't think this is a serious dive attempt, though. Maybe he's just trolling us by putting down the bridge, but no, he's going in.
No, there's definitely a grind there. As soon as you turn right, 100%.
The big question will be, how far does he have to walk back? Because he is... I don't know, this path seems like it is way out in the middle of nowhere. So this feels like almost like a kamikaze sort of thing. He outsides, he gets out. Like, where is he going to end up? How far is he going to have to walk on, glass or whatever? No hit points, no magic points, no repel. I don't know. Well, we'll see. Vertical is getting level 17, and that is a lot of stats.
Well, now Death Necklace is in play.
Without the Death Necklace, this is, with these stats, a fairly easy win. With the Death Necklace, with these stats, this is a fairly easy win. He does have to get there with the resources, but level 17 is, I cannot imagine anyone taking any time other than just going directly here once they see that.
I think the fairy water is probably going to be used for repelling, not for the Dragon Lord.
Right, with that 93 defense power, you are repelling everything through Green Dragons, almost Axe Knights. It always seems to be where it ends. It's just like almost Axe Knights, but not. So very good shape. It's really going to depend on what the Sharlock is like, which we are seeing on Nim's screen, which is not super scary so far. A lot of enemies that being repelled are ones that are very easy to run from, like the Golem. But the Golem does have sleep and hurt more, so it's not something to be taken lightly. But we are seeing the problem on Vertical Sandwich's side. He has lost Sharlock. He's seen it before, but he has forgotten how to get there, and is way, way far away from it. So if Nim is able to pick up this level, get to a town somewhat quickly, this race is still very much a race.
Lots of golems in Sharlock.
I mean, if you knew these guys were here, were able to get that stop spell on regular basis, this might beat the Green Dragon. I don't know. A defense broken Green Dragon still seems a ridiculously silly, easy, and repeatable grind.
Nim is one more golem away.
Not quite one Axe Knight away, though. He's holding on to his MP. I think he wants to keep some for when he bolts out of here. That is a good question. I wonder what our Golem stop spell resist is. I wonder if they would cast it as they're going down on them, or if they're just going to try to run. Golems are supposed to be the easiest thing to run from in Sharlock. And there we go. 2 out of 16. A simple 12.5% chance that you will probably see more often than you would like.
Okay, Nim finally lands that stop spell. We'll be able to get through this red dragon and see the level 17 bounty.
He's having a swing and sees that heal. If he used to heal more, he would not have enough magic for outside. So that was a little scary, but he's going to get what he wants out of this, get those stats, and probably see the immediate outside cast. Or maybe he's going to walk this all the way back from Tantagel? That one would be interesting.
Vertical Sandwich checking the coordinates also. Doing it at about the same place where Nim had before. It's possible Nim just thinks that the walk from Tantagel to the swamp is shorter than from Charlock all the way down to Cantlin.
And it might well be. There was quite a walk, so I guess that was just a request for the enemies to send him back. But we'll see. He's got quite a ways to go. We'll probably see him stop off in Cantlin to pick up those fairy waters. I think that's probably on his mind. If you're using it just for repel, you don't need a lot. Meanwhile, Vertical Sandwich has already lost MP just trying to get there. He's dipping back to, let's see, that's not Cantlin. Which one is that one? That's Grandham. There we go. Oh, he's going back to Cantlin now, too. He seems... Are we going to see him possibly go to... I can't imagine he would go back to the first continent. I think he's explored that one very thoroughly, but we might have said the same thing for Nim a little while back.
Well, Nim is on his way to Charlock right now. They're going to be to Cantlin. They're going to be in Cantlin roughly the same time.
So you almost, I don't know, it's hard to say advantage because we keep saying that. And then something changes in this race and we have no idea who's winning. But the fact that Nim knows a little bit more about Charlock's going to help. He just have to buy a few things here. He knows how to get there. Hopefully he remembers. So that's it. Is Vertical going to be able to find... No, he's going the wrong direction. Vertical has completely lost track of where Charlock is. And that might be the difference in this race.
Nim is not doing the full heal.
Oh, he's going to stop off in Grandham. It's right here.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
I mean, he could have just done it the other way, I suppose. I don't know. He has enough fairy waters. He could have just used them, but...
you get a little bit more repel distance here.
Yeah, you're losing like 4 seconds, maybe, deciding to do it this way versus just resting in Cantlin, so it barely matters. Yeah, someone at the beginning of the seed said something very specific about hoping that Charlock would require a second continent to get to. And I have a feeling that whatever they wanted out of this, they got.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna claim guilty on that one. This came out everything we could have ever hoped for.
It's weird because the way this map is, you feel bad for Vertical Sandwich, but Nim has had the exact same problems just at a different time. That both of them have gotten very lost in different areas. And oh boy, we see the Golem throw out that sleep. I think our players really wish they had the Fairy Flute. And I know what I said, and I stand by it, DK.
Yeah, it's always fun when you enter Charlock and you can still see Tantagel on the screen.
This would be a heck of a situation to not have the return spell or wings on. Ooh, nice. Vertical Sandwich with the command manip to get away from the red dragon. Still not finding the area to get through. It was a narrow path west of Grandham. West, then north, then west, then north, then east, then south. Nice and twisty. I have no idea where he is, but it does not look familiar to me. So 47 to the west, he is out in the middle of nowhere. Nim, however, has made it to floor 2. He's got the Fairy Water active. I believe we'll only see Axe Knights and Golems here. Golems, you really don't want to see them, But we'll see. If he gets hassled too much, he might decide to throw out that stop spell. Checks the agility, as we all do, once you get the first run to something that you think you have no business failing to run from. But he has made it to zone 2, immediately sees a red dragon. Did not see those before. They are not comfortable enemies to swing through because they have heal. You could do it. They're probably not going to damage you in that last round, at least. But you don't want to waste the MP. You don't know what it's like as far as that goes. You do have a bit to spare, but not a lot. Really, the more MP they end up losing on this dive, the more likely they are to equip the Death Necklace, because it keeps the gap narrow on what you need, but the extra AP kind of covers some things.
Yeah, I'm still pretty confident we're going to see the Death Necklace here.
Yeah, Nim tends to be fairly aggressive with that. Now, some people are the opposite, and they try to avoid equipping it wherever possible, but I think he usually does. Red Dragon, that was not a death number. I believe you can only hit for 36 right now, but still is unable to get away, has to throw the heal more. Meanwhile, Vertical Sandwich has found Sharlock, so if this dive does not go well for Nim, Vert is right there. And this Red Dragon is not cooperating at all, just getting in the way and being a giant pain. And losing 2 heal mores to that one Red Dragon, this puts him in a scenario where if you're not equipping it, you're going to have to count on probably 1 double, maybe 2. But with 140 hit points and 93 defense, you like your odds still in that scenario. But he's dying to get out of the zone, just hoping that zone 3 is a little less of the red.
No such luck so far.
The good news is, as far as we know, the AK-47 is pretty heavy on the stop spell and hurt casts. So I don't think Nim has seen much of them. I think that was Vertical Sandwich you saw them before. But yeah, if we'll see. I don't think he's going to swing through them. He could. It would be probably as safe as trying to run, but he could also run for like ever. There we go, 2 for 2. He has a 50-50 odds to run from an AK-47, and the spike tile is Green Dragon. Green Dragon deciding to troll just a little bit, doing a little cheeky dodge. We'll see if Nim throws out the heal here in just a moment and charges into this fight. There it is, token heal. We'll know very quickly if he decides to put on the Death Necklace. I would say fight is probably safer without it, but it's quicker with it, and if you're feeling pressured, you might equip it just to make the battle go faster, and he does. All right, and the thing is, with that 93 DP, he can be hit for the most of 47 from a physical, 48 from breath, so he knows exactly where his damage lines are. The lowest they can possibly be is 48 mats from the Dragon Lord, so gets into the fight, gets the first attack, hits 11, and gets an opening double.
Yeah, having defense broken DL1 and getting the attacks really, really helps the cause.
And our tracker Beef Supreme is tracking the damage in the coordinates location, so you don't even have to hear us say it.
You were never going to have to worry about hearing me say it. I'm a mathematician, but I just can't count.
Nice. That gives me a lot of comfort for whatever it is that you're doing. Just kidding. But yeah, this fight is going fairly well so far. We've already broke the 100 range with 5 heal mores to go. He is rolling 11 to 22. So with that 19, I think this might be guaranteed short of a miss menu. Meanwhile, Vertical Sandwich had a breezy dive down and is starting his fight, but he's going to need a whole lot of help, something terrible to go wrong to clean this up. And there it is. I roll, I think at 153, rolled a 20, so most of the damage range cleared easily. And casting return, Nimanva with the win, getting this series back to 1-1. So there will be a race 3, which I believe is tomorrow. But yeah, GG's out in chat for Nim.
GG's. That was a very tough beginning, but was able to finish very strongly.
And that is an official final time of 1 hour, 29 minutes, and 59 seconds. Got the sub 90.
And after 90 minutes, we're so close that Vertical Sandwich is right there with DL2 also.
We see going, this fight is just a matter of time. He got here with 2 more heal mores than Nimanva did, and should have no problem finishing this out again, short of a miss menu. And I believe as this is happening, we will have Nim here
Vertical
in just
Sandwich
a moment.
is right there with DL2 also.
We see going, this fight is just a matter of time. Yes, as we mentioned, this was race 2 out of 3 in the series. Vertical Sandwich winning the first, Nim getting this second one, and race 3 coming up very soon as Vertical finishes up here. I believe it is tomorrow, but perhaps Nim can give us that information in just a moment.
And while we're waiting for Nim to be able to join us, please remember to give the runners a follow. They put on a great show today. Really close, tough race.
Here we go. Is this the one that ends it? The roll is very close, and there it is, 16 down, and GG's to Vertical Sandwich, who will finish up just a couple minutes behind Nim, but a very well-run race overall. And while we mention that, in chat with us is the winner of today's race, Nimanva. Hello, and how are you doing?
Oh, that map sucks.
Yes, that seemed to be a refrain. I think it was brought up at the beginning of the race. Someone in chat said, wow, I hope that Sharlock requires a second continent, and boy, did it.
Yeah, that was a second continent and then a wraparound, and no town close to it, so it was really far off, and I had to use Gwaelin's Love to make sure I knew which direction to go and stuff at one point, too.
Yeah, that was noted. Both of you ended up doing that, checking the coordinates there.
I felt really like I was behind because I took so long to find the towns and the swamp cave and stuff. I don't know if he had the same problems I did at the start or not.
Now, Vertical Sandwich was able to get up there a little bit earlier by getting some early metal slime kills. But I think that you got the armor first.
Yeah, the nature of the race seemed to be that Vertical Sandwich jumped out to a very big lead Then you jumped out to a very big lead. Then Vertical Sandwich jumped out to a lead at the end, and then ultimately, the exploration of the map is what I think proved to be be fatal, because you went into Charlock, you looked for it, and then you did that grind in there until go level. And I think that wound up helping a lot, because that gave you that information of exactly how to get there, which was, I think, lost on Vertical Sandwich's side.
Yeah, I did that to find Charlock, the path to Charlock, and I also wanted to see what enemies were in Charlock, just to see what my dive was going to be like, because that was a long walk. And I wanted to know if I needed another level because I didn't have enough resources or not.
I should have drawn a better map.
And welcome to Vertical Sandwich. That was his voice, chat. We understand that comment. I think that was that at the end. You were at 17 first, and it just seemed like Charlock had eluded you. But I think you had found it earlier, correct?
I walked right up to the door of it earlier and actually just forgot to put it on my map. And I knew approximately where, I mean, obviously could see it from the beginning. Can't believe how much trouble I had with that at the end.
True, and despite all of this, I don't think, because both of you took a lot of time walking around to find stuff, because the majority of the map was actually all on top of one another, inside of swamp, outside of swamp, where Granham was. But I don't think anyone found Hawksnest, did they?
I didn't find Hawksnest or Tablet.
Neither did I. Those were the only two things I didn't find.
Well, they definitely weren't necessary for any reason. What was your general outlay of the seed vertical? Because again, we were kind of mentioning it seemed like you were in the lead heavy very early on with some of that luck. What was kind of going through your mind in the beginning of the seed?
I felt really good. I mean, obviously the metal slime luck was ridiculous for me. But then I had so much trouble getting through like swamp jail, and then seeing that like Romualdar was right there. Again, it didn't feel great.
Yeah, and I think that the nature of the map didn't help either, just because like once you got over the hump, through Swamp Cave and all of that, then you just found everything so quickly, right? I mean, everything but Charlock, of course.
Yeah, I was worried that I was actually worried that Nimanva had actually gotten to Cole way before me. I mean, once you got through that swamp, you got the armor right away, and then it wasn't a problem anymore. So
that did actually happen that way. I think he got there. I think you were grinding in the basement of Mountain when he did that. So when he ended up doing the exact same thing a little while later, he had the armor already and didn't have to take the death through the swamp like you did. Although I don't know how much difference the flame sword ultimately mattered in this.
with Hurtmore that early, I wasn't worried about it. I ground to get Silver Shield only, really. I knew the death was coming.
Okay, I kind of assumed that, like, people were talking like, is he going to go to like 50k? Because that was more or less what you would need for both. But then, the fact that you walked that whole distance, you're like, maybe he can get it, and we're like, 7 HP short.
Yeah, I wasn't sure, but I knew that if I made it, I'd get the flame sword, and if I didn't, I'd save again, and then I'd just go get the Silver Shield.
So I think both of you had some interesting interactions with the golem. With the, I don't know if there were some early deaths or something. Was there any other enemy that shot out to either of you that proved to be quite the problem in the seed?
Not really. I was terrified when Nimanva hadn't finished. I was actually pretty convinced by the time I got down to Charlock that there was a golem on the trap tile. I'm glad there was not.
As was I.
And we have no idea where the fairy flute was. So that was for both of you. This is one of the few seeds where that could have been very useful.
Yeah, I wish we'd been able to take more advantage of the AKs. The AKs were so nerfed in this seed. Nothing else really stood out as anything that was problematic, but like you just had perfect AKs to do something with, and then they weren't even a factor.
I found red dragons annoying until we got stop spell.
I only fought one, and by then I was damaging so high that the heal at the end didn't matter.
When I first started encountering him, I was only hitting for like 17 to 27, so he could heal up most of what I was hit him for, if not more.
And that first encounter with the red dragon took a little while. I do remember that.
I don't know if their stop spell resist was, because it worked so well to start with, and then there was that one fight where it took 3 stop spells to get it to go through.
Oh, because you ground in Charlock.
I ground 1 level in Charlock, yeah.
Yeah, I just camped. I camped on green dragons so long that my brain turned to mush. That's what I'm blaming for my late mapping error.
My map is Horde. I didn't map anything past Garenham. Or, I'm sorry, Grave. Grave was the last thing I mapped. I didn't map anything on the second continent but Grave.
Staff Cave was the last thing I mapped, and yeah, well, that's what happened, I guess.
And we do have it up on screen there. Red Dragon, stop spell resist, 6 out of 16. So, yeah, that sounds about right with what you said.
So I got lucky early on when I first got stop spell, and then they went back to form afterwards. Okay.
That was me yesterday with, like, you had trouble with blue dragons yesterday, and yesterday I landed stop spells on blue dragons like they had no resistance whatsoever.
So this was race 2. We're now 1-1. I believe race 3 is tomorrow. Do you recall what time it is? I don't.
Same time.
Oh, somebody put it up on the screen. Game 3 tomorrow, 6 p.m. Exciting. So I think this is kind of what we were expecting out of this race between two people. I know Vertical, you do a ton of races, and Nim has been around the scene for a very long time. Do you have any final thoughts about this race or anything about tomorrow?
No, I mean, I think that, yeah, I think it's, in a way it's exciting to go to 3 races. Although, like, things like the end of this one are, take a toll. It's fun to compete. It's just, the majority of us are all friends here. So it's cool to have an excuse to kind of get together and, butt heads in a friendly way. I enjoy it.
Well, all races can be enjoyable as long as you don't have a really bad seed that just knocks you into the dirt.
All right, and Stags, did you have any final questions or thoughts?
I had a whole lot, and then my dog ate my homework.
All right. So we do have the upcoming matches here in a little bit. We're going to stay live, I believe, until the RPG Limit Break restream of our next match at 8 o'clock between Z-Man and Ziggy starts. So if you want to catch that one, you can just leave the stream open, and we'll send you over there in just a little bit. Otherwise, you can see the remaining matches up for tonight. 9 o'clock, which will be on this channel, Beta Strep versus J. Coper Game 1. And then I believe it says 10 o'clock, but it's more or less going to be as soon as they're ready after the next race, after the 8 o'clock race. Z-Man and Ziggy Game 2, also on RPG Limit Break. So anything else, or do you want to take us out, Stags?
I'd like to say thank you to all the people who put this on, because without you guys, we couldn't do this. commentators, restreamer, tracker, and my opponent. It's just great times.
And again, remember to give the racers a follow. Very good at the game, great to watch. Also, give Aaron2U2 a follow. There's lots of really good Dragon Warrior content over there. Definitely worth watching.
Yeah, come hang out with the people in this community. The Dragon Warrior randomizer community is just like a super cool, like really helpful bunch of just great people. So like, no matter who you meet in this kind of thing, dive right in.
Oh, I appreciate the love, Stags, and yes, agreed. Following us is not technically mandatory, but you will hurt our feelings if you don't.
And to follow up what Vertical Sandwich was saying, we get a lot of friendly community races going. There was one this morning. There's going to be one tomorrow morning. Open to racers of every skill level. Come have fun, chat with everyone, get some pointers or ask questions. Just about everyone's willing to answer questions for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Do not fear the pickup races. Sometimes I think there's a lot of people who join the tournament and say, now I feel almost good enough to do the nightly races. And to that I say, I think it's supposed to be the other way around, but hey, whatever works. Feel free to ask any of us for advice. We're more than happy to talk. And as you can hear right now, we're talking a lot.
It is a good time, and everyone's very welcoming. So, we're going to head out, it appears. So, thanks for watching. On behalf of Aaron2U2, I'm Stags28. Stick around, and we'll have more Dragon Warrior randomizer action coming your way. Thank you.